You know how the light switch is in front of the shower door? Anyway, I was holding the shower handle and I was flipping the light switch and I was so confused for 10 seconds straight as to why the shower wasn't turning on. And then like, later on I realized like, Jihad, you're an idiot.
You are an idiot.
Oh, what's up? Hey, yeah, it's me. I'm back. Jeevans. Anyway, today, something happened. No, not the shower thing. We're in lockdown. Yep. 7-day lockdown. Canberra is on a 7-day lockdown as of 6 days ago. But 2 days ago, they announced that, yeah, it's going to be extended for another 2 weeks. So that's 3 weeks now. Woo! All right, look. It's bad. I know. I'm stuck here by myself, you know, stuck in an abrupt 3-week lockdown. Just me. Deprived of work, deprived of going outside. Just me in solitude. Me and my inner demons. No, but seriously, I'm introverted, so me talking to my inner demons, that's just like every other Tuesday, you know, they're always there, just in my ear, just you know, just being a straight up nuisance. But
Sound like that.
I'm used to it. And I haven't stopped working for so long, man. Like, it's been ages. So I'm low-key glad it's here. Because look, when you're in school, college, uni, you get breaks throughout the year. In a 9-to-5, you know, you gotta wait till Christmas. Like, come on guys, my mental health here. Not to be insensitive to all the people that have been treated misfortunes due to this pandemic. Like, I eagerly wait with you like that time before pre-2018, you know, when there wasn't so many stopgaps to do just simple menial tasks like going to the shop, so I wouldn't have to feel anxious whenever I hear someone cough. I'm right there with you. But right now I'm in a 3-week lockdown and I wanna make the most of it. Use all that time I had to focus on myself, to better myself. Don't get me wrong, 78% of me just wants to boot up the PlayStation and play some Destiny, grind some solid hours into a good RPG game, but I have all these ideas I want to explore, I want to bring to life, bring to fruition. And that's all they've been though, just ideas stuck in there collecting dust. Ideas stemming from watching other people's content. And then I was watching this one video and a quote came up and it told me my main problem. Okay, I'll do it, jeez. I'm not gonna lie, like, I give my excuses all the time and I just eat them up like sweet and sour chips. So I wanna work to change that, because most of the time what I see myself doing is that I'll get this burst of inspiration. Most of the time when I see myself being productive and creative, it's usually a burst of inspiration, seeing something on Instagram or YouTube, something like that. But then that's all it'll be. I'll be able to finish that self-imposed project in record time. And then after that, it's just a drought for years or until that next burst of inspiration. But I don't want to rely on that. I want to be able to maintain that flow, keep that edge for the long run. And I began to understand that I needed to make sacrifices in order to have self-discipline. And the first thing I did to do that, to achieve that, was understand myself better. Done. Come. You really just set all this up in a second? Okay. Alright. So, I'd hear you'd like to understand yourself better. To understand me. Understand us. I guess I'd like to know more about ourselves. That does put a smile on my face. I'll be here to help you, to guide you on your journey to better understanding yourself. Firstly, do you know that it is your mind's prime directive to make sure you survive, to make sure you feel as comfortable as possible, to leave you with no struggle? I am beginning to understand that, yes. And tell me, what is being comfortable to you? Me being comfortable, I'm just chilling like a villain, I guess, sitting down, watching anime, YouTube, Netflix, whatever. Indeed, that is very true. And how long do you spend time partaking in such activities? Now that I think about it, it's an embarrassing amount of time. I am very glad you were able to notice that. Now, do you understand that during that time, you could be making your own YouTube videos, your own content, your own films per se. I guess I could, hey. I mean, like, what are they doing different that I can't do? But like, what are you trying to say here? Because am I supposed to like sacrifice anime shows, YouTube and all that? Because the next season of My Hero is about to come out. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, freaking Money Heist. Mr. Fruit. You want me to sacrifice Mr. Fruit? Yes. You already know I can't do that. And that was a horrible suggestion on my behalf. My deepest apologies. I meant no offense, but hear me out. What I propose is, instead of abandoning all that at once, organize yourself. Allocate certain tasks to a time frame. Make a timetable. Specify certain tasks to do whatever you desire. Watch whatever you desire. And other times to do productive work. Because tell me, what are your plans for the rest of the day? Probably edit this video, yeah. After that, huh? I don't know, watch something. I don't know, man, I just like to go with the flow, eh? Until you flow off a cliff and meet your inevitable demise. Listen, the point is, you don't have a plan. And what are we trying to do? Live a life by design, not by default. Exactly. So, give it a shot. Set up your days. Make time to watch whatever it is you desire. Mr. Fruit, Netflix, Crunchyroll. But also, make time to work on yourself, to work towards your goals. What's the harm? You know what? I'll give it a shot. I must say, you have made me very proud. You're welcome. So, second thing I did, I started managing my time. So I made some goals to give myself something to focus on throughout the week. Because the thing is, if you want to be able to organize your life, organize what's around you, you got to start from within yourself. Because if you're a mess up here, how are you going to be clean on the outside? So just clean up in here, you know, be comfortable in yourself, because you are your own best friend, you know? So creating a timetable, I watched videos on how to best plan for the day, learn to consider that unexpected things will happen. So I needed to leave like plenty leeway in my schedule for the unexpected, and that was pretty easily for me because I gave myself broad tasks throughout the week. The main goal for this week was just to create this video. But that was still a bit vague, you know, create the video, like how you want to do that. So that's why I created steps, you know, did step-by-step things for each day until I achieved my end goal, completing the video. So Monday it was script, Tuesday practice script, and then still part of Tuesday, film. Wednesday, film. Still on Wednesday, edit. Thursday, edit. Friday. That was like a bit of post-production, and then posting the video on Friday or Saturday. So Saturday was client work, and then Sunday was do whatever I want, really. It's a very broad and loose schedule, but I found that it was effective for me because usually I just wake up in the morning and have no plan throughout the day, so I just do whatever. But now when I look at my timetable, I'd know what I'd do in like specific time frames. I'd have something to achieve within this time frame, and then I'd go do it. And it felt just good to be able to check things off your list. And while doing all that, I was observing myself, and I learned things about myself so that I could enhance my ability to be more productive. So what I learned was after 11 a.m., that's when I feel most refreshed. After 11, that's when I decide to do the more harder tasks. So filming, editing, scripting, anything like that. The other thing I noticed is after about 5 minutes committing to a task, I'd hit that flow state, and then my brain would just go into autopilot once it realized that I'm not going to change what I'm doing, and then idea after idea would just roll onto paper, which leads me into the next thing I learned about myself. I like writing on paper. I guess the organic feeling of putting pen on paper just stimulated my senses. And I guess that was important because if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm going to want to do it more and for longer. Speaking of senses, music. I found myself, if I was doing certain tasks without musical assistance, I'd be yawning a bit more. So I'd just get my headphones, put them on, find a good playlist, and then I'd find myself, you know, just fitting into the groove a bit more easily. It didn't have to be music. I do enjoy background noise as well. So white noise. So I just put on something in the background. Like that one's a bit of a double-edged sword though, because like Yeah, and it was better for me. I felt better when I had something playing in the background, but at the same time, it could also hinder me from my task if whatever I was listening to in the background seemed to excite me. And then I end up focusing on that instead of my work. So that was another nice observation. Sunlight. Sunlight wakes me up. That should be a given, but so the thing was, before I'd leave the curtains closed throughout the better portion of the whole day. So now whenever I wake up in the morning after I'm a bit more refreshed, I'll open the blinds, let a bit more sunlight in, get a bit of that vitamin D, wake me up a little bit more. I hate mornings. I've always known that since I started school, but yeah, I hate mornings. So I don't know, for the next couple of weeks, I want to find out how to utilize the mornings more and how to get me a bit more proactive throughout the morning. I could do coffee, but I'm not that much of a coffee person. I don't have a coffee machine and I don't want to drive all the way to McDonald's or the servo to get some hot brew going. I'm more of a tea person. Like, I grew up with my dad drinking tea all the time, so I drink tea. But hey, tea doesn't wake you up, has no caffeine. I get tired 4 to 5 p.m. during the day. So around the afternoon, I start to get a bit tired. So I take a little bit of a power nap, just a bit, 20 to 30 minute snooze. That's the one thing I'm gonna miss post-quarantine. Those hours, I'm still at work. So I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. We'll see what happens. 8 to 10 p.m. That's when I feel a bit more energized. Not as good as 11 a.m. in the morning, but still I feel like I could get some good work in during that time. So I set a time that side to do editing usually. Because the thing about editing for me, it's just the starting part that's hard. Like, I don't mind the creative process and all that, but starting, it just takes me a while to get there. But now I know after 5 minutes, I'm all in. That's why it's important, observe yourself. And then if I really want to hit hard, that's when I bust out the Red Bull, just drink that down. What I noticed is that Red Bull, a bit more hard hitting drive for me, but coffee, the way it affects me is different to Red Bull. Like Red Bull, it does things to me no other caffeinated drink can ever do. Coffee, it does affect me, but it's a bit more mellow about it. So depending on how I want to go about my day, I'll drink one or the other. That was just 7 days of observing myself. I just want to see what the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, months brings. I mean, it's already a big step up in productivity because look, another video is up. What I need to find out is why I stopped the last time though, why I stopped uploading last time. I think time was definitely a main factor, and I'd set unrealistic expectations of myself for the type of videos I wanted to put out, even though I didn't have the right resources to do so. But now I'm not so hard on myself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Do what you can, do what's within your reach. So self-discipline, my friends, add structure to your daily lives to escape that trap of monotony. And what I feel is most important, learn to understand and be comfortable with yourself. Find what works for you, what doesn't work for you, when you work best, when you need rest, what motivates you, what takes away your concentration, like whatever distractions. If your phone's a distraction, set it aside for a certain time period and use that time to focus on your work. Because for me, I don't know, I feel like I'm not that heavily integrated into social media, so it's not that big of a distraction. YouTube, on the other hand, yeah, that takes a lot of my time. But to be fair, I was watching self-improving videos. Eventually, I would like to work on my social dilemma though. And that is all I have for you today. If you learned something, or you were slightly motivated to better yourself, or you were simply entertained by this video, leave a like and or subscribe. It would help me a bunch and I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one. Adios. God, that was difficult. I'm only wearing one shoe, by the way.